For days, reporters had been waiting. Cameras stretched along the courthouse steps, allowed only outside the building, but even from there, you could feel the tension rising like a storm about to break. Every journalist sensed something significant was coming. Every attorney whispered theories under their breath, and every spectator wondered whether Annie Shephard, one of the most quietly influential voices in Britain's philanthropic and advocacy circles, would finally speak. The lawsuit had grown far beyond its original scope. It had become a national conversation, a media spectacle, and for many, a test of integrity in a world too easily swept away by noise. And so, when Annie finally stood up in that silent courtroom, everything stopped. Even the faint murmuring in the back rows dissolved as if someone had pressed a mute button. There is something people often say about Annie Shephard. She carries her strength quietly but unmistakably. She doesn't need drama. She never raises her voice. Her calmness is her authority. The moment she rose, people straightened instinctively. Her posture was effortless, her expression serene, and her movements precise, almost graceful. It wasn't theatrics, it was presence, it was conviction. Those who witnessed it later described the moment as watching a masterclass in composure. Even the judge, who had seen decades' worth of attorneys, advocates, and public figures, seemed to lean in ever so slightly, anticipating something meaningful. Annie began with a single, simple sentence. Justice is not measured by attention, but by integrity. Soft words, yet they landed like stone on still water, rippling through the room. They cut through the rumors, the assumptions, and the swirling media commentary surrounding the case. She spoke about how speculation had overshadowed truth, how public perception had started shaping a narrative that did not belong to the courts or the people directly affected. She reminded everyone that justice cannot bend to popularity, nor can it be manipulated by fear or frenzy. Her tone never wavered, never sharpened, never faltered. It remained steady, steady enough to steady the room around her. As Annie continued, she shifted from the specifics of the lawsuit to the deeper principles behind it. She spoke of responsibility, of the duty to protect truth, especially when emotion and public pressure cloud judgment. She talked about the vulnerable, those whose voices often get drowned out when powerful narratives dominate headlines. One observer later said her words felt surgical. She wasn't attacking, she wasn't defending, she was clarifying. And that clarity cut straight through the chaos. When she finished speaking, a stillness settled over the courtroom. No applause, this was a court of law after all, but the silence felt like a standing ovation in its own right. You could feel the respect, the shift, the weight of what had just happened. Attorneys exchanged glances. Some looked impressed, some looked unsettled. Journalists sat frozen for a moment, unsure where to begin. They hadn't simply witnessed a legal update. They had witnessed a moment that would be remembered. But it didn't end there. Annie's message spilled out of the courtroom. It echoed through social media. Legal analysts began dissecting her statements. Commentators praised her for grounding the conversation again, for pulling it away from spectacle and back toward principle. Many called her speech a reset button for the entire case. She reminded the world that justice is not entertainment, that truth is not a performance, that integrity doesn't need volume, it needs courage. Looking back, many believe this moment will define Annie Shephard's public legacy, not because it was dramatic, but because it was honest. A reminder of why voices like hers and partners like Ben supporting quietly in the background matter so deeply. Thank you for watching this in-depth breakdown of one of Annie Shephard's most powerful public moments. If you'd like more inspiring stories like this, be sure to hit subscribe. Your support helps us continue bringing you meaningful, thoughtful content.